Well, I hate to ruin the fake life of the broadcasters, the projector system, the mind. So we have Mercury. It's now in Gemini, and I've pretty much said all I need to say, but I feel like I need to keep repeating it like the Channel 4 News because they have their fake life on repeat, and then we can do our so-called suggestion. They have fucking reversed everything so hard that that's what it's turned out to be. The people that know the truth and have had tapped into the life by way of going the opposite of the first compulsory suggestion, they just have a suggestion now for all of the people spacing out on their minds completely. Completely. See, meta is originally the fully encapsulated mind. You have narcissism, which is the fully encapsulated mind. These people, it's called shadowboxing. They have a subconscious programming, which means it's like their suitcase that they carry around that they pull out of. And they don't even know that they're doing this, which everything is based in looking at it through those glasses, which they're distorted. They are messed up. How do you know that you have a distorted subconscious? Well, do you hold traditional values really close to you? Are you highly religious? Did you have a big family that kept feeding you their version of life and education? There you go. You are fucked. You're working with something that you haven't sorted out yet as being yours at all. And you have to find what yours is and don't take it personally. Right now, I'm working it out for you. What do you mean? How do you do it? Well, Well, it's just programming. You can get in there and fuck with the wires, and you can make it more not real than your ability to choose in the moment anything. You are actually an infinite possibility the more and more you move through this life. This is the gift that you will give yourself. In fact, it's your profound responsibility to reach for it and grab what is called your freedom. Your freedom. It's just profound responsibility. A lot of people on the planet, especially the flag wavers, any flag, that's the United States flag waver, it seems like they're going to be the last ones to know. But no, never is a national flag waving um, thing. It's never is a declaration of peace. It's never a sign of peace. It's actually a soft declaration of constant war. And from one household to the next, you can see if there's one flag there and then there isn't one on the other, war. So anyway, I mean, because I want to put a flag up, and yesterday I was like, well, what would my flag look like? Well, let alone being just a tree. Put a tree, put an earth on there, put some earth. I had something I was going to put up, but it's certainly not anything that anybody else is waving. It's just something that everybody can recognize. Oh yeah, we all need it. A tree is good, and say, yeah, we can all relate with this one. Please wave that flag. Water, a drop of water or something. Anyway, really hard to communicate. For me now, it's just like I'm overwhelmed with stuff. It's like, well, did you simplify yet? And did you hear anybody in the past? See, now it brings me to this conversation now where we're talking about, well, a lot of people need to catch up. And it's like, well, keep repeating it, keep repeating it. Okay, the fact is there's nothing new under the sun as far as the truth is concerned. It's the same for everybody. No narcissist likes to hear that. They think you have your own truths and blah blah blah. And I know what you mean. What you're saying is you have your own life. You have your own life. You have an astrological signature that is assigned to you. But everybody is in this. It's true for everybody. That's the truth for everybody. You have to have a better conversation with people about what the truth is. Having said this, you need to get solid about it. See, this is where people are walking on their own, in their own place of suffering, fear. It's tedious. They're batting back their shadows. It's called a shadow boxer, the one that is pulling straight from subconscious wiring, and it's impossible, right? By the time they are older, really, you can just figure they have so much what is called junk or luggage, right? You can call it, yeah, they have so much baggage that they brought to the relationship. Well, you never had a relationship. You don't have one. Anything to work off of until about 2 years of serious, almost everyday interaction, and you better try to make it every day, or you're not really involved. You first of all have to figure out how involved are you with reality. You want to talk about narcissists, babe? The problem, the plague, the main danger that we hate or whatever that we have a problem. Otherwise, forget it. Is that they're not logged into reality. They don't have a conversation as to what reality is. It's very vague. And you can have a conversation about what this is. It's very scientific and it's matter of fact. And there's only a few more to unconfuse your ass about it. And we can click and say, yes, reality is God. There's only one reality behind all realities. Aren't you interested, kids? No. The mind is now trying to argue because it just doesn't know what the fuck anything is really until you have an experience. Now you're going to have an experience in your body, and then start just beating your mind up, saying, nope, it was like this. Nope, it was like this. Nope, it was like this. I don't know where Joe Dispenza went now. All these people that fucking cater to the mind and say, it's all about those positive thoughts. And if you think a negative thought, replace it with 3 positives. And then, but now look at the positive thought going this way. Catch on to the positive thought. Now, just ignore the negative thought, but you see them there. And it's like, no, you don't see them there. And if you don't see them there, you're dangerous. What Abraham Hicks actually talks about, and what I've always known, is just, oh my God, first of all, Abraham Hicks isn't going to tell you this, and neither is anybody else. I don't know why they don't, but they need to. I'm starting to hear it more and more. And it's mainly a woman who will say it. They say, no, you just kind of block your mind out and you go to your body and figure out what's happening there, do a cartwheel, and there you go. And then remember how fearful you were and keep knocking that back, keep knocking that back. That's what you're going to learn. Knock back fear. If you're going to learn anything, knock back fear, knock back fear. So you can just surrender to your body. You have to ignore a lot of shit around you coming out of minds, which I just saw a little show that I saved on my playlist. Sam Vaknin. It's like 17 minutes long. I didn't watch it yet because I didn't have time to think about it. See, I like to think and contemplate. Well, see if it's a question or a title. I think, okay, but here's how it works. Blah, 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 boom. And then I turn it on, and it says, blah, 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 boom. I'm like, there I am. Fuck yeah. Yay, yay. See, never watch the internet thinking you're going to get informed. You should be informed about your own curiosity, having an interest in it, and go in and think, well, your imagination is called healthy when you're doing this. If you can do it. Now, you can't do it unless you've had an experience in your body. Yes, you were curious about that feeling that came along. It doesn't have to be completely bodily, but yes, it does, babes. Because eventually, you won't believe it. You get out of your body. Every night you get out of your body. If it wasn't for the spirit guides and what happened what I processed last night, I would not be feeling as sorted out and good about my day today. Because it's been really hard for the past 4 days. I don't know. I had an experience that I guess it's that Mercury conjunct Uranus that I just didn't expect it. And you don't expect life, babes. You don't expect. You cannot plan what you're about to see in your life. See, now this is the same for everybody. Pardon me. And it's the truth for everybody that you're going to get past your body and get back into the spirit and to your what they call the electrical body or the light body. Not so dense. I mean, maybe not. A lot of people do go from cradle to the grave, and they never come across any information that says, number one, get away from the system. You have to. And anybody who has contributed anything worthwhile, if you interview them, they're going to say, oh, no, of course, I got away from, boy, I had to go down the rabbit hole and realize that every single occupation there and what they've been trying to tell us as history and the truth is wrong. wrong. You are, talk about a disease. Now, you don't have to get into detail and get over it. Don't take it personally either. It's 80% of people who are completely wrong. Why? Because they could be fully encapsulated in the mind, which has no bearing on reality, so they don't have access to the truth. It's either that, those are malignant narcissists. That's what's making fame, is these people that are impossible. And you just have to turn your back, because it's like, well, wait a minute. You're actually permanently living in your own reality, which is your own mind, which is packed full of... Eventually, we all know it's just like a toddler that has its own game of I win, you lose. I win, you lose. That's shades of gray, but that is prominent there. And then, of course, the way that you win, right? Because that's the way the teacher taught it, is just get that A, and everybody doesn't know because, well, you didn't go. You didn't flush your own fucking occupation to reality down the toilet and sit there and be a teacher's pet. So, and it's a big club. Come on, get into it. George Carlin talks about it. It's a big club. And it's not yours, really, and it's not even theirs. See, that's what the narcissist doesn't even know. That's not even your idea. Do you have any ideas of your own? This is where I get like, I taste my own bile. I get sweaty on the palms, and the blood runs from my head down to my feet, and I feel very, very grave. Is when I'm in the presence of people, parents, who are showing their kids money. They're like, what, their kids are 3, 4, barely understanding vocab, but now here's this asshole showing them money, saying, look, now this is a quarter, this is a penny, and these are 1, this is 5, this is 10, and now look, here's that, and then that, and because as if, first of all, do you have any ideas of your own? That's not your idea. You're teaching them how to become a warlord, fucking throw your soul away, and yes, we are warring against your own creativity and feel-good of life. We're replacing it with a false feel-good. We're replacing it with a false feel-good and a false self. Got your mask? What's your mask? A smile that you're feeling good. And it's not feeling good. Your contagion is pain. Pain, confusion. Especially for the kids. For anybody who has their true intelligence on, which is far beyond what I was saying. Is like you just have to get into it. Take it. Notice it. You have an intuition. You have emotionality that not only is it your guide to get you the fuck away from something that doesn't feel good. Smarter than your mind. Your mind is dangerous, by the way. It's dangerous, especially if you're blind to its nature, which is the truth for everybody. It's the truth for everybody that the mind is dangerous to you. It wants to kill not only you, but reality and the truth. That's what it's up to. And hey, you got to put that away and say, actually, I'm not my mind. I'm not my subconscious programming. I'm not that. I am now. I am now. Is there somebody in front of me? How are you? And you can authentically say, because I'm here for you. When, if they get, you have to depend almost radically, but it's really like flying by the seat of your pants. You have to depend if they got into their own faculties, and if they have gotten 30 feet away, you can't exactly be there for them. Hopefully, they pick their feet up and walk, and they're seeing what they're doing. Never try to be somebody else's faculties, narcissist. You can't be somebody else's faculties. You can't be their body. You can't just jump in and say, I'll be your life for you. Nah. Now get away from there. Be your own hero. Be your own hero. Pick your own self up by your own strings. Find your highest self and start letting it puppet you about. Nothing you are thinking, by the way. It's never anything you're thinking. How do you like my energy so far? I wanted to talk about the plague that is ever increasing. It's going to get completely mad, and once society goes completely mad through what? Meta. They run completely on it. So it's just like it'll take 9 hours to unfold all of the scenarios that has developed because we don't look at the nature of the mind and say, uh-oh, watch out, and just say, no, we don't do that. We do the heart. We do the heart. And if we do anything with the mind, we torture it to make it understand what the heart is up to. And that has everything to do with, okay, so getting back into our electrical body. See, the mind is kind of dead compared to the awareness. The mind is dead compared to awareness. See, awareness, what is awareness? See, you need to know that you can have a decent conversation about this only if you have achieved being simply purely aware. Meditation is number one for so many reasons. But the basic reason now to just enter into it, to begin to start to know, which is really the word now. Otherwise, you would take the W away, and it would be no, with a silent K. Thank God it rhymed. I'm not wasting your time today. Your English language, the way that I just heard somebody say the word potable, the water is potable. First of all, they don't know what they're talking about, because when we talk about water that is palatable, say, oh, it's decent to drink. It's after you have boiled it. It is called potable. Potable. We put waters in pots. And when it's drinkable and palatable, like safe, we put them in pots. We call it potable. Because then you can put it in a pot and you can cook with it further, or put it in a cup or a pot and drink it. There isn't anything called a pot. We're not putting water in pots. We're putting water in pots. I swear to God, this thing, when I hear a word being mispronounced and then it gets far off like that, I swear to God, I quit a job. I just quit everything when I heard somebody say something. Why? It's because this. There are people that have no experience in reality, but they're going to use words now. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? So they'll say a word that really you have had to have a very intricate experience and then the delicacy of holding on to like what that entails or whatever. And if you say the word completely wrong, every single syllable is off in vowel pronunciation and everything. You figure, well, this person has been snagged up by the meta system, the projector system, which meta, I'll write it down for you. Where does that come from? They have, by intergalactic law, they have to keep the configurations in. Put the N down. Now you have a T, meta, in the word mental. Now you have an A, there you go, and then you have a small L. Meta, yes, mental. The first dimension, cartoon land. Did I explain to you what the first dimension looks like? Yes, and you can't draw a box. You can't do anything and say that now this is the third dimension, and except for just point at outer space and say, look at this thing that holds all things, all possible things. The second dimension, which is all possible things. You want to now? Do you want to draw a box? Because that is the second dimension. But they lie to you. They got you in your meta. You're totally mental now. See, you're not even in your body yet. They're not even going to tell you that there's a mind, which is the same as saying there is a devil, there is Satan. Watch out. Get you trapped forever. Now, little lesson on the second dimension, which I'm happy to be able to point this out. This is as good as the third dimension. Do you see how it's just open space? Now I'm going to show you the second dimension. There's they say the first dimension right there. Oh God, you can't see it. Okay, so I just drew the first dimension. Supposedly, this is what they tell you, baby. But no, this is all the second dimension. I'm giving you an whoops, sorry. I can't do it in front of you. I'll give you an example. Draw the square. Give it its bitchin'. Sorry, I can't do it like that. Well, now it's just, now you can see it's just a paper that's flying in the wind, right? Now it's given its only second dimension. This is the second dimension, Hans. The third dimension is what's holding this idiot, trying to tell you this stuff in ink and a paper and everything. Do you see how it flew? We got gravity also in the second dimension. It's weird because like, what is it? Is it acceleration or is it sucking down? I say it's static electricity. You know, we are very much in electrical current, and I'm going to pick up my pen and pick up. It's not that this pen was ever writing very well, but if I don't find the cap to it right, then it's one pen down. I hope you enjoyed my. It's a real lesson. They don't explain to us what the third dimension is correctly, so we don't know what the second dimension. Did they ever tell you about the second dimension as clearly as I did? You got to use ink. That's the truth. The truth. The second dimension is the truth. The third dimension holds the truth. The first dimension is what I'm trying to do is give you a cartoon and talk to you about it all. It's like hardly there. I mean, it seems like the sound, it seems like the sound just cut off. And now what are you going to do? Read my lips? You got to keep your mind in the first dimension. At least I can read her lips. It was like, babe, talking and thought is the first dimension. It's just non-existential reality. I didn't just say that you can't hum a tone and cause resonation. I didn't just say that you cannot speak into reality. Now, when you hear the word intention, I can't help but to think that the way that when a guitar string is strung up, it's got tension, and now you can hum its resonation. If it's now, see, that tension causes more wakefulness. It's awake, and that means that the string is moving to vibrational frequencies in the air. And when you hum, the very tone that string is tuned to, it's just as good as striking it. You can strike it from across the room. I would love to demonstrate that because I bet you anything, a lot of laymen here, especially viewing my channel, and you think you like me, but you really don't. You like looks or something, and it's like, oh my God, babes, there is a core to people, and there's a beauty inside of there that can radiate out, and that will shock you. It will shock you. It's because you don't really think much of the shallow surface. Deep down, you have no trust. That's your subconscious wiring, maybe. Depends, okay? So don't let me project on you. Little lesson I didn't expect to get into, but I'm glad to have, just to make it clear. You can find some people that know this, and they'll say it in a different way. Never will you. Okay, I'm sorry, but we have a problem with meta, the mental cases, taking over, and they have their own philosophy, and they're like gripping on for dear life, and they say, no, this is the way it is. It's like, no. The way it is you have to get experiences, and you have to get into your body first. You set your mind aside. See, that's the thing that Joe Dispenza, in hourglasses, it goes like this. They're like, blah, blah, blah about the mind. The mind is the master of the mind. Fuck, man. Look at that positive thought and replace it with 3 negatives if it was a negative, and look at thoughts and thoughts and thoughts and thoughts and thoughts and thoughts are things. And no, they're not. If it was materialized, it had to happen through a physical behavior that not only that it could have been like perceived that it could do it, but it had to go along the ley lines of truth to even materialize anything. You can't work with things that aren't already here already. There isn't anything new under the sun. The truth is the truth is the truth. Nobody makes it up here. And nobody is really discovering anything. They are pretty much uncovering anything, which I think does mean un. Uh-oh. Are we going to get really that lost in words? Yes. We are at the peak of bullshit having taken over, where most people think that when they hear the word water, that they are literally getting wet. And they are dead fucking serious. They're going to build a fence and put a flag up and say, yep, I'm getting wet because Squawk Box over there took over my mind. And now, fuck you. Fuck you, who seems to be free enough to say, not true. Reality, the third dimension, outer space, is peace. It's peace. Hi, John Lennon. Was that you after all? Oh my God, they look both